Now we're going to solve another word problem. I have a board that is 4.5 feet long. I want to divide it into 6 equal pieces. How long will each piece be? Now, a lot of times I will read my word problem more than once because the first time I'm just sort of getting familiar with what's in the problem. The second time I can think a little bit more about it. I have a board that is 4.5 feet long. I want to divide it into 6 equal pieces. How long will each piece be? Okay, first step of problem solving. We always want to understand the problem. And you've done this before. Understand the problem. And there are 2 parts to that. See if you can think of what those 2 parts are. You can pause the video for a minute if you want to think about it. Okay, what is the question? And I've underlined that here. How long will each piece be? And the other is, what information do I know? So I know that it's 4.5 feet long and we want to divide it into 6 equal pieces. Now, what I'm going to do with this information that I know, I'm going to put my 4.5, my total, over here in the total. That's the amount I started with, and it's the whole thing. It's going to be important for you to know whether you have the total or whether you're looking for the total when you're deciding whether to multiply or divide. Okay, our second step. Do you remember what the second step of problem solving is? Write it down if you know. It's plan. So what we're going to do, we're looking for our keywords, divide and equal. That tells us that we're going to divide this into equal parts, and those words remind us that we are probably dealing with division. And so we're going to plan what that problem is going to be. Now, I know that it's 4.5 feet long. I'm going to divide it into 6 groups and of a certain size. Okay, and so I'll have 6 groups, and I want to know how long each one is going to be, so I'll put an X here. So this is going to be 4.5 divided by 6. And then I'm going to change them both to improper fractions. This is 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9 halves divided by 6 over 1. I usually write that step down because it's really easy to make a mistake when you're going to multiply by the reciprocal if you haven't written that down yet. Now I'll go up here and remember the song, you know, multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. And of course, I'm always welcome to cancel or simplify before I get started. So this is 3 times 3, and this is 3 times 2. I get rid of the 3's. I have a 3 and a 2 left, and it equals 3/4. Now, what were my units? Feet. Don't forget units on math problems. Now, so that was actually the solve part that I just did. And the last part is to check. And I want to check to see, did I answer the question? And of course I did, because 3/4 of a foot is how long each of these 6 pieces will be. So did I answer the question? Yes. Now, does it make sense? Okay, first of all, if we started with something that's 4.5 feet long and I want to divide it into 6 equal groups, each of those groups is going to have to be smaller than 4.5 feet. 3/4 is smaller than 4.5 feet. And you know what else I could do? I could think about it. I could check by saying, does 3/4 times 6, what does that equal? Why don't I try that? 3/4 times 6. And that gives me 9/2, which would reduce to 4 1/2. So I was able to check my problem and see that what I've done makes sense.